Good evening, friends. This is Deepak Jasani here, and
Vinod Sharma.
now the occasion this time for this webinar is to look back at the 1 year of Pick of the Week's product that we have been issuing over the last 1 year. So now recently we have completed 1 year of the launch of the product. We wanted to just share a few thoughts about the journey that we have gone through over the year. Now, we have always been issuing reports on technical and fundamental basis even earlier, but the timing was not on fixed days. So, what we got of feedback from some people is that let us have fixed days when we will issue certain product or certain reports, which the RMs, that is the relationship managers and the clients will look forward to sort of go through and to invest. So this advice was considered by us internally. Even our senior management felt, yes, this is worth exploring and starting, and that is how we started to implement this. So the first report that we came out with was on 30th of January, which was Manappuram Finance. We recommended that stock at the then price of 28.6. Currently, the stock is at about 94 after touching a high of 106. So this is the kind of up move that these stocks have given. Of course, the exit price, the target price was much lower, but in case some of the investors wanted to hold on to such stocks, they would have got a higher return. Now, since then, we have religiously issued this pick of the week every week, howsoever may be the market condition. The Nifty moved up and then moved down. It went down all the way below 7,900 in November and December 2016. But we kept issuing the reports and did not sort of waver for even for 1 week. The broad objective of this pick of the week is to spot, prepare, and issue reports to the clients so that they can evaluate them and invest in them. The idea is to give ideas, stock ideas to the clients, which will give 12 to 20% return in a matter of 2 to 3 quarters. While sifting the stocks, we look at macro, sectoral, and micro developments in each companies, and we also look at charts to sort of shorten the to look at the timing of this entry. So that is what we go through and then decide as to which are the pick of the weeks that we should be issuing. Now, in our interaction, Sharma ji, a lot of people want to invest in multi-baggers, right? Now, multi-bagger is something which is a mirage for most people because spotting them and then sitting, holding on to them is very difficult. What is your view on that?
Yeah, it's similarly like trying to hit a six on every ball. So that is not possible. So it's better way to look at is in terms of scoring, and your objective is to win the match. So you take on your ones and twos according to the market scenario. So and if you do that and keep rotating the strike, I think you'll over a period of time you'll achieve your target much faster than if you were to just letting 5 balls go and then trying to hit a six on the sixth ball and then getting caught out. So I think this is important. It is important to take those smaller gains, and especially even if you're getting a 10% return in around 3 months, that equals to almost 40% return per annum.
Right.
So that's great.
So here, what the investors typically experience is that it is very hard to spot multi-baggers.
Yes.
And even if you are spotted, it is hard to retain them. Because
And for every one multi-bagger, there will be 9 others or 100 others.
Lemons.
Yes, yes. Will where you will see that your capital eroding. So we are not into that business.
So we thought, okay, instead of trying to spend our energy doing that, we of course try and spot multi-baggers separately in terms of our fundamental stock ideas. But this product, what we are trying to do is try and advise clients to churn their money, investable surplus regularly in stock ideas, so that over a period of a year they would earn about 40-50% return, which in most cases, in many cases, would be higher than a multi-bagger return. CAGR.
It is. In fact, if you were to look at even if you look at, let's say, Infosys for that matter,
Hmm.
Infosys has just given, if you were to consider not the inception, but the last since 2000, and in the last 17 years, Infosys has just given you a return of 6.5% per annum. That is in terms of capital appreciation.
Correct.
And even if you look at the stocks which have given you fantastic returns, multipliers many times over and consistently, so the per annum return doesn't come to more than 30.
Correct.
Even with the best of the stocks.
So,
yeah.
okay. So the investors need to be disciplined and continuously deploy and redeploy their money. So then they will be able to achieve that compounding effect on their investments. Now,
Yeah, Deepakuli. Continue.
You were saying.
Yeah, what I was saying is that can we tell investors in a way that if a particular stock is not moving and it is the level has not been reached but is still in a so-so kind of a range, slightly up. So should the investor take a call that you exit from this stock, although there is no, the stock is call is still open, and then you can move to some other stock, the next call option, the next call that will come in the next pick of the week. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, but it should not be too often, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe once in a while, because some stocks take too long to move, and when they start moving, they will move very fast.
Yes.
Now, this product also gives an opportunity to the relationship managers to engage and build wealth for their clients. So, for us internally at HDFC Securities is also a good product. Now, both the relationship managers and clients look forward to the pick of the week every Monday. So, this was what the purpose or idea was initially, and I think we have partly succeeded in achieving that. Now, while we have so far diligently done our spotting and timing the entry, we should also acknowledge that God has been kind to us so far.
Very kind, very kind. God has been very kind.
To us and to our investors. And we hope that this this run of luck continues, and the kindness also continues going forward. Now, some interesting tidbits from the list of pick of the weeks which we have issued. The highest return earned was in Lumax Industries, which was 48% in just 49 days. And the target price, the exit price there was 778, and the current market price is about 1328. Some calls were exited in just 1 to 4 days, including stocks like MT Educare, National Aluminum, and Salzer Electronics. Whereas some others have taken too long to reach their targets, say between 140 to 250 days. These include Shri Pushkar Chemicals, Monte Carlo, and KEC, etc., etc. So it will be a mix and match of some fast runners, some slow runners, and such like. What the investors need to focus is on the annualized returns. So now we will show you a PPT. Basically, 70 out of 104 calls have either achieved their first target or the second target, yielding an average of 21% return in an average holding period of about 65 days. So 65 days in a year, you can sort of multiply it by at least 5.5 to 6 times.
Yes.
So 20, taking a very aggressive stance, 21 into 5.5 is about 110%. But I don't think that is possible to achieve. But let us expect a lower number of 40 to 50% per annum.
That's huge. 40 to 50% is per annum is huge. A very huge sum.
Right. Now, one other observation that we have is almost 25% of these stocks have entered the averaging band and then risen. So they first fell and then they rose to achieve the targets. So it is always a good idea to add on the recommended dips band, so that you get the full benefit of the lower entry cost. In about 40% of the cases, the second target is also been met so far. So investor may decide as to whether he would like to book full, part or no profit at the time of first target. Ideally, some profits may be booked at the first target. If the investors can track the stocks regularly, he can then re-enter those stocks when there is a dip from the first target. We have been seeing increasing participation from our RMs and our clients over time, as slowly more and more people have got convinced about the product and its benefits. We also, at times, we hear a complaint that the stock opens higher on Monday morning by a percent or two as compared to the last close, and hence some people are not able to enter. Now, here, what happens is, this is true mostly when the mid cap and small cap space is in frenzy. There,
Right.
people want to jump up to any opportunity or any advice. Here, the choice is with the investor whether he would like to enter higher by 1 or 2% and let go that return, or whether he would like the prices to move back to the recommended level. And in some cases, he may miss out on the
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah.
So, that is his choice ultimately.
See, the very fact that the call is given out on Monday morning, there are so many people who are listening to it, and when they actually act on it, obviously the prices ought to rise. So it is necessarily, it's important for the investor to a part of that whatever quantity that you need to buy, it is you should buy in the opening moments itself, so that if you want to average, there is another portion which you average lower. So at this point of time, you will not miss out, and you will not have any reasons to complain that you couldn't get that particular stock at, and because you missed out on those larger gains that were to follow. So part of it can be invested in parts.
Right. And in the meanwhile, we also have our other products that suit requirements of different customers. We have trading calls, derivative calls, we have technical stock reports, we have other fundamental reports. So, in case you have not looked at those, you can look at those also and benefit out of them depending on your requirements and your risk profiles. Uh, Now, in case some of you have not benefited out of this, it is worth a try. That is what we feel. We are interested party in a sense, but the history or the statistics which is shown in the PPT should convince you that it is at least worth a try, if not
Yeah.
going whole hog into it. Now, where do you get the pick of the week recommendations?
Yeah. See, first and foremost, all of you, in order to benefit, should download our app, and I'm assuming that all of you have downloaded the app. So in the notification where you have a bell on the front screen itself, you press that, and then you straight away between 8:30 and 9 o'clock on Monday morning, you will have that call ready. And those of you who have traded once will definitely get a email next time for the next week. So many of the investors are just not trading but just watching. They will not get an email. But a person who goes out and trades even once, for the next week he'll get an email. That email goes out at 6:30 in the morning, and perhaps an SMS also which goes out at 9 o'clock. So once you start trading, you'll even if you are not looking at the app, you will have the information. But most of the times, as more and more people are trading through the mobile itself, I think that is the best way to look at. You press the bell, and you get that call, and the moment you press it further, it takes you straight away to your trading page, and you can place the order.
Right, and for people who are familiar with the PC or the desktop, on the Empowered platform, the pick of the weeks are available after the login. On the home screen, you will find the pick of the weeks updated in the ticker. And also in the research call widget, you can find the pick of the week on fundamental section of the research call widget. This is on the trading side. On our main website, also there is a first center banner. On visiting the website, our first banner, you can find the pick of the weeks on the Monday. And we also update our pick of the week on the fundamental stock ideas in the research section. So these are the various places where you will get your pick of the weeks. And in case you are trading through a dealer, then the dealer, of course, if he knows that you are interested in it, then he will let you know. He will call you about the pick of the weeks. So maybe these are the various ways in which you will be made aware of the pick of the weeks. Now, you would like to? Shall we take the questions, or you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, just want to share one more thing.
Yeah.
Is the fact that it is not necessarily that the stock will come out on the Monday, first thing Monday, the stock has to move up. It'll move up because so many people are buying. But there are times when, because the market is uncertain, and since we have that Monday morning note, so it will come out. So it's not necessarily that the stock will always be up. So even if it's down, it is an opportunity to buy that stock on that particular day. And if it goes down further within that realm, you should be able to buy that stock, and the lower you buy, the better it will be. So I think I'm reiterating the fact that you should be probably able to buy it in two tranches, one right away, and then another if you want to watch, we want to add further on the higher side, and most probably you should be trying to lower to add on the lower side, because if that money, if the stock goes up, no issues, then the next, that money which is left, you can use it in the next call which will come, which could be a trading call.
Okay. Now let us take the question. Now questions, basically we will deal only with the pick of the week kind of questions and not the other questions, because let us be very clear about it at the outset. We have a lot of questions. Now a lot of these questions we have already dealt with. Now one is about if the stock price shoots up by the time we get the POW, or by the time it opens on Monday, what to do. So that we have answered, I suppose, right? What should be the strategy to invest in tip of the week?
Okay, no issues. I think we can you can repeat the same old thing once again. The first and foremost, the early bird catches the worm. So it is important that part of the money you should be able to put in. If it is a small, if it is a mid cap stock, part of it should be, money should be put straight away, and the rest you can decide whether to buy lower, or you want to buy the full quantity. But part of it should necessarily be bought, so that you are into that, and you are going to get advantage of the subsequent move which will happen. So part of it should definitely be bought in the morning itself, and you should be ready, so that you should have enough money on your account, in your account, so that the check thing to check on Friday is what is the quantity that you want to buy. Probably if you are trading through the dealer, you ought to tell your dealer, boss, next call Monday morning, and you tell me the stock, I'll then take a call whether to buy or not. So at that point of time you can decide. And we've seen that investors who have, traders who have bought all the calls, have necessarily done better than somebody who just handpicked.
Correct. Now there is a question from Neeraj of Mumbai. He says, is this more of a fundamental or a technical recommendation, or some kind of hybrid? Basically, it's a fundamental call. The technicals are used only for timing the entry level. Otherwise, it's basically a fundamental call.
The technicals also go into, in terms of deciding the secondary part of it, that the where, at what level should one enter again. So the technicals also play a part in that, and when you achieve a target in maybe 2-3 quarters, that also plays a part, that what is a decent possibility of hitting that target. So but primary choice is obviously fundamental, and within that, then after deciding on the stock, then you decide at what price we have to say buy and what is the target.
Now Rama Mohan of Hyderabad is asking, peak of the week is for long term or short term? So basically the time horizon is mentioned on the report, on the first page of the report, and typically we mention about 2 to 3 quarters for every pick. But as we discussed, about 65 days is the average holding period.
Yeah.
So
while the
outer
advice
side
is in our hands, actual execution is a function of your own requirements. I've seen, Deepak, some of investors getting in. Suppose they've got 7% return in 3 days, they have booked out and say, okay, well, let's look at the next thing. So maybe that is not the objective that you should actually trade, but no harm in terms of booking a profit in case you are into, and that short term profit comes easily. Probably you will rotate that money. So no harm in doing that, but essentially these are medium term investment targets.
Then Somebody has recommended we should change the pick of the week from Monday to Tuesday. Mr. Haren Parekh. So I don't think there is any an advantage of doing that.
No, it's like saying that Sardarji and Mr. Train, and since he had the last coach, so he said the train should not have a last coach, and if it does have, it should be in the middle. So if the advice is, I think we should take it possibly, but the fact is, no, if you are thinking that Monday everybody is looking at and Tuesday nobody will look at, I think the investors will, if the pick of the week comes out on Tuesday, investors will look at it on Tuesday, and no matter whether it's the pick of the week comes out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day you may feel, but the moment you have a day, all the attention will be there, and therefore the kind of spike you are seeing will continue to have.
Somebody has said, can you bring out reports for 1 week horizon? Now, that we have technical calls, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
For 1 week horizon, we have other products.
We have other. There are technical calls are available for maybe from 2 to 7 days. There are also technical calls that come out with reports. And my own conviction, as a person, somebody wants to blindly follow. I think those technical calls, if you are able to execute in time, if you have the time, if you are glued to your operator, or you are doing it on your mobile or on your laptop, I think the technicals can essentially give you a better yield in terms of rotating your money. Because for instance, the average call where we give out a technical report, and there's a technical report also as well as a call which is given. So any technical call which accompanied by a report, that has a higher kind of a accuracy ratio and also has a high returns. So a monthly, the technical call average holding period is around 30 to 35 days, and the returns are fantastic, maybe around 9.5% to 10.5%. So that works out pretty well.
Yeah, some people are more comfortable with technical
And there is no ambiguity. You have a target which is to be reached, and you also have a stop loss. So no matter come what, because the ratio is good in terms of risk reward ratio is pretty good. So if you were to take all these calls, the returns would be much better.
Now somebody has said, can you send message of pick of the week on Friday? Now then your problems will compound, because if we issue on Friday, then the whole world will know about the pick, and then there will be other clients or other brokerages also buying it.
Yes.
So then your stock will open much higher than what it is currently opening. So that is why we have deliberately issued. We are issuing only on Monday morning.
Yeah.
How much to invest in each pick of the week is one question. It is a bit subjective, but will you try to?
Yeah. See, if you are using this, if you are using this product as essentially a means to earn regular income out of that, and if you are trading in all of them, then probably looking at the fact that more than 50% money will have to be still continued to be put in those stocks where the target has not been reached. So my sense is one should decide on itself, and therefore my advice that if you feel that a particular stock is not doing well and not moved further from after 3 months or so, maybe you can kill that call by virtue of exiting that and getting into the next call which will come your way. Or ideally, we do come out with fundamentally reports or a sector reports where the conviction is of a much higher order. Within the pick of the weeks also, some of these where the conviction is higher, they'll find themselves into pick of the week also. For instance, RBL was one such. Coromandel, we have given, profit booked, now again we have given. So these are the calls which we will continue to give. So within this, you will know, and you can pick your particular sectors, and out of that you can hold on probably for the longer term. But definitely the money that needs to be put into pick of the week is essentially that money which you are willing to put in fundamentals, and for trading purposes especially, that amount can be separate. But if you should need to define your amount, and that amount, whatever that you need to invest for 3 months or more, that amount should only go to peak of the week. And for shorter version, that amount can be separate, but it should not come out of the peak of the week.
Correct. I think there are some other questions which are not pertaining to the peak of the week, and there are a lot of repetitive questions. So I think we have covered most of the questions.
You've
and,
covered most of the questions, and the next 2 minutes, I think the exit polls will be out.
5:30.
And yes, 5:30?
Yeah.
5:30.
Yeah.
Another 32 minutes to go,
Yeah.
and then probably the investors. So I think if there is any other question, so would you like to say anything that you want to?
Now, some people are saying ki, is it better to invest in low value stocks or high value stocks at the peak of the week? Do we have any?
Okay.
Huh. Because some people are hesitant to invest in high value stocks.
It has. See, my own perception is that investing in larger value stocks where the absolute value is higher, probably because there are most of the people would not like to enter such stocks. So these kind of stocks have traditionally given a better return.
Stabler, smoother.
Yeah, but mathematically speaking, there is no difference, because if the value is less, you buy more number of shares, and if the value is high, you buy less number of shares. So it is a function of your entire amount that you put. So the amount of money that you put for a 5 rupee share or a 500 rupee share, the amount is the same. So obviously this is perfectly equal. It's all your perception, and how do you look at how comfortable you are in terms of holding that stock.
So it's a question of mental block. Some
Yes.
people feel कि 50 रुपए या 20 रुपए से कम का stock में ज़्यादा appreciation मिलेगा. But that is not entirely true, because वहाँ पे risk fee is slightly higher.
Yeah.
So in that sense, what is important is the total amount to be invested. Whether you invest in 20 rupee stock or 2000 rupee stock is not much of a difference, I suppose. Okay, so I think that should be all for the time being. Thanks a lot for joining us, and we hope that you keep benefiting from our product pick of the week going forward also.
And one last thing that I'd like to say, Deepak, that as investors, you might come across, let's say, if there has been 1 year, you might have a portfolio. You may have bought some stocks on your own, and you may have bought some stocks on our advice. I think periodically you should clean up that act. So it's important to prune the exposure that you have, and for that matter, we are there to help you. You can send your portfolio by virtue of the fact we want to give them an email ID.
Online support at the
yes.
Online support at the rate hdfcsec.com is the ID.
The portfolio should be in a format which is and it should have an Excel attachment, and you should definitely have ISIN code for the stock. That is there. It is easier for us to actually go out and give you a proper advice.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, friends.